Hello and welcome to ThePrint. Now, there have been a lot of developments in Maldives over the last few days. We saw a ruckus in Parliament just last Sunday after the Parliament denied approval to 4 cabinet ministers under the Muizzu government. Recently, the Prosecutor General was attacked, and though police are investigating the matter, many from the opposition, including high-profile politicians like former President Ibrahim Soli, suggest that this is a politically motivated attack. And lastly, the opposition in Maldives is planning to impeach President Muizzu, but there seems to be some confusion over what constitutes the total strength of the parliament. And to declutter all of this, today I have with me former Vice President of Maldives, Ahmed Adeeb. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here, Priya, and thank you, Print.
My first question to you is that according to the constitution in Maldives, 2/3 vote is required to impeach the president, the 2/3 vote in the parliament. But there seems to be some confusion, or rather, there seems to be disagreement between the ruling party and the opposition over what constitutes the total strength of the parliament. Could you explain that for us?
Actually, the current parliament, where the most there was 87 total members of parliamentarians, where some of the parliamentarians has resigned to join either the cabinet of President Dr. Muizzu or to join the state-owned companies. So the numbers from 87 has gone down to 70s. And now the argument is which original number, is it the original number of parliamentarians or the current number of parliamentarians, which will be calculated to take the 2/3 of the impeachment vote required. So I think that's where the debate is at the moment.
And just for our Indian viewers, unlike in India, a cabinet minister in the Maldives has to resign from parliament. They cannot also serve as an MP. And so the 7 ministers that you had mentioned who resigned to be part of the cabinet, their vacated seats are now where the question mark lies. My follow-up question to that is, what is the reason for impeachment proceedings? Why is the opposition wanting to impeach President Muizzu?
Yes, just for the clarity of your Indian viewers, Maldives, we have a system of presidential system like in America. The 3 branches, the judiciary, the parliament, and also the executive presidency, it's total separate 3 powers. So the president is chosen by the public vote, and then president chooses his own cabinet, which is totally separate from the parliament. Actually, regarding the impeachment, which there was a debate on impeachment even after becoming President Dr. Muizzu becoming the president. There has been issues with the current ruling party and the Democrats party, as well as the process. I believe there's what we are missing is the political dialogue. The discussions, the negotiations, which I don't see there. So at the very beginning of the government, we have seen opposition from the parliament, opposition from the opposition parties. So what we have seen is that there were 4 ministers which were supposed to be not given the approval by the parliament, where the government intervened and then things went out of control. As you mentioned earlier, there was a ruckus in the parliament, and there was stones thrown by the public supporters of the government to the parliamentarians. So there were so many issues that it escalated to an area where there's an impeachment process has already started by the opposition parties. So what we are seeing is a lot of lawlessness is occurring, because I believe that because of the political instability, the other elements in society gets empowered. So that's what we are seeing today. So I believe that's why it has come to this impeachment process.
And since you brought up the perception of lawlessness under the Muizzu government, let's talk about what happened this morning with the Prosecutor General. Two assailants on a motorcycle attacked him. And though police investigation is on and the Prosecutor General office has said the motive of the perpetrators has not been determined as yet, you have high profile politicians in Maldivian politics, like former President Ibrahim Soli, suggesting that this could be a politically motivated attack. What is your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, we I think we should go back to where there was a ruckus in the parliament, where even parliamentarians entering the parliament was very difficult at that night. There were some groups, elements of gangs were there throwing stones. So I think that's where it started. And Prosecutor General is a totally independent institution in Maldives Constitution. And he's a very young Prosecutor General. He was is a close friend and also one of my lawyers before he became a Prosecutor General. So I know him very well. So he is not a political person. He's been an independent Prosecutor General. He's a very educated young prosecutor. So I believe that when it comes to here, it's part of I would say it's not totally political, but when the political instability comes around, there are certain elements in the society which gets empowered. So as a Prosecutor General, he will be prosecuting a lot of criminals in the society, and then he'll be having so many enemies as well. So it's part of, I think it's because of the political instability. I think the groups, the gangs, the extremists, they all are getting kind of empowered and taking the advantage of the situation, I would say.
You mentioned that the Prosecutor General is a close friend of yours. You know him personally. He's not a political figure, but he has defended high-profile politicians, even Gayoom and Gayoom's son in the past.
That's right. What I mentioned is the post. Now he's been there now almost 4 years as a Prosecutor General. So as a Prosecutor General office, he's totally independent and he has not made any political comments in last 4 years. But as you rightly said, he's a very high-profile lawyer. He has defended a lot of politicians, and it's very sad that he has been made a target today. I mean, it's not only an attack on Prosecutor General, but it's a total attack on the system. And a lot of people are fearing, a lot of politicians are feared, and it shows the lawlessness. And it's very sad to see the situation in Maldives.
If we could come back to the impeachment efforts by the opposition, the Attorney General has registered a case at the Supreme Court against an amendment that was passed by the Parliament last month. And that amendment had to do with the constitutional procedures for impeachment. If the MBT says that it has enough signatures for an impeachment motion, why isn't it submitting it? Is it waiting for this ruling from the Supreme Court?
We are very close with the MDP as well. I believe the Maldives Democratic Party has said in a press conference that they are waiting for the right time to be submitted. They have already got the signatures they have needed, and then the Attorney General, after 1 day of this press conference, they have lodged it in the Supreme Court. Basically, the argument of Attorney General is that that one political party cannot take the impeachment process of the president, of any president. So, but if you see now, it's not only the Maldivian Democratic Party only, but the Democrats have also joined this initiative by the MDP.
Last time we spoke, you had mentioned, or we had discussed, a perceived fallout between Muizzu and former President Abdulla Yameen. And Yameen was the one who actually began the India Out campaign in Maldives, which Yameen has sort of taken the baton over. There are rumors that Yameen is behind these impeachment efforts. What is your opinion on that?
Yes, I believe that as well, because now there has been a big fallout between Yamin and Dr. Muiz. President Yamin is also behind the scenes working with the MDP, and he is supporting this impeachment against President Muiz. And as I mentioned earlier, the President Yamin was behind the total India out campaign, and what I see now is President Muiz has inherited it, and in order to take over the party and the supporters of President Yamin, I believe now President Muiz is also have to cater to that slogan, those arguments. And recently, also President Yamin called out that Muiz is too weak; he can't take India out and all that. So that's the situation what we are seeing today.
So that's very interesting. I mean, since you are deep in the political arena, what was the cause of this fallout?
Actually, President Yamin wanted to be free from the first day President Muiz got elected. He even went to President Solih and made some arrangements, bringing Yamin from jail to home. And then after that, from what I saw, was that President Yamin wanted to control every edition of President Muiz, but he didn't want to do that. But this is nothing new for me because I've been in the cabinet. I was the tourism minister and later the vice president in President Yamin's cabinet. So at that time, myself and Dr. Muiz, we worked from 2012 to 2016. So in those period also, there have been a lot of fallouts between President Yamin. For example, Dr. Muiz was the housing minister all through those years. But Minister Muiz was never, President Yamin never gave a chance for him to be in the Economic Council, which President Muiz wanted to be because he was handling most of the infrastructure projects. So there has been a lot of fallouts, so which is not new to me, but I never thought that it will be so quick, that the process of development.
And I guess my last question to you is, Maldives parliamentary elections are slated for 17th March. That is 2 days after the 15th March deadline that has been given to India to remove its military personnel from Maldives. Do you think these parliamentary elections will be delayed given all of these developments, given impeachment proceedings and whatnot?
Actually, from what I hear is that the current government wants to make it as soon as possible, the parliamentary elections. That's why I mean, within the law, I think that is the most soon as possible date, the 17th of March. But since it will be falling into the Ramadan, and as you said, the impeachment process and other matters which is going on, I think there has been there can be a delay, but it can be only delayed by changing the law, which the government will require support of the MDP and Democrats as well. So without changing the law, they cannot further delay the election.
Thank you, Ahmed, for taking the time out to speak to ThePrint and sort of decluttering all of these developments. We'll be monitoring this very closely, as I'm sure you will as well. Thank you.